What's up, everybody? What's going on, 18? I wanted to kind of give you a personal type video as to, mistakes that I've made as far as being a YouTuber and just stuff that, I want to advise other people that are aspiring to be YouTubers or being streamers in general, what not to do. And these are some of the things that I think a lot of people make this mistake in doing, even with like the bigger channels as well. So, the one thing that I definitely regret doing, and one of my biggest regrets, if anything, is not paying much attention to my family in regards to like, my wife and my kids. In the beginning, when I really first started to post stuff on YouTube again, I was so kind of hell bent into being successful to the point to where I personally made the mistake, and I didn't ignore them, but I didn't pay them much attention because I wanted to get to a point to where I wanted to be successful. Now, even though I still had that drive and I still want to be successful on YouTube, but I have taken more time to pay more attention to my wife and my kids, and spending a lot more time with them because that is really important to me, and that takes an effect on them as well, because your family and even your friends or anything like that can see if you've changed or if you kind of isolated yourself away from them because of the fact that you just so hell bent into working on or getting to a point of where you want to be, but in the end you sacrifice the relationship that you have with your family and with your friends and things like that. And I don't and that's not a healthy thing to do. And so that's one of my biggest regrets, if anything, when it came to me posting on YouTube all over again. So if you want to be successful, or if you want to start a career streaming or on YouTube, make sure you have an even balance between the two. Never neglect your family, never neglect your friends, especially your close friends, and make sure you also have a social life, because being cooped up in one room the entire time isn't healthy at all. Even in the midst of this whole pandemic with the coronavirus going on, take some time, go outside, walk around the block, go to the park if it's not that many people around, and just get some fresh air, because it's a healthy thing, but it's much needed to kind of get yourself from being cooped up in a room, or being cooped up in the house and having cabin fever from just being inside. Another thing that I made a mistake in doing was looking at other people's success and thinking that I'm going to have that same type of instant success as I see with other people, and that's not always the case. It's YouTube is like one of those funny things, and even with streaming, is like one of those funny things of where you're not always going to be successful, or success doesn't come that quick. Now you'll get those occasional few cases of where you'll catch a break, and something strikes and it catches on and it goes from there. And then you'll have some other time of where you are putting in so much work for so long, and nothing's not really coming from it, but then at some point something strikes and there you go. Then you got your platform, you've launched and become more successful than what you think you would have been. And it's just a matter of having patience, really. So never look at someone's success and think that it's going to be instant gratification. 90% of the time, it's not that. You don't. People don't see the type of work that they put in, as far as for how long, to get them to that point of success, and getting them to the point of where they are now, and making YouTube a career. So, if anything, I would say look at little things that you can take from individuals, or look at things that make that person successful, and try to implement it in your own type of way, in your own fashion, to the point where it becomes kind of like your niche in a way. But never look at that instant gratification, because you're not going to get that immediately. It's not going to happen. It's not going to take off that fast, unless you are just an anomaly and something just strikes immediately. The last thing that I would say that I made a mistake in doing is, and even now I kind of struggle with this, is the motivational part can be tough, can be very, very tough. And it all kind of coincides with the last thing that I said in regards to like the instant gratification thing. And when you think that you're putting out very, very good stuff, or you thinking that what you're doing is going to bring in so much and bring in so many people and so many views per video, or if you're doing live streaming and you're thinking that streaming one particular game or streaming a popular game is gonna bring in that viewership, and you don't get that viewership because of the game being popular. The game can be oversaturated with streamers of that one particular thing. Don't get down about it. Don't get frustrated about it. Still had that same drive, still had that same motivation, and at some point, someone's going to come along and is going to end up blossoming, by word of mouth, of being shared about one person, and that one person sharing it to another person, and it's a snowball effect. So, in life, for me, in regards to like me being a YouTuber and me starting to get into streaming myself, I've taken these things and applied it. So, as you guys know, I spend a lot of my time with my family, and if it's not work, I'm with my family. I'm spending a lot of time with them. But then when I am streaming and when I am gaming for you guys, I try to be as interactive as I possibly can, and I try to stream as often as I can, given the schedule and given whatever's going on. But I try to, do my best to be as entertaining as I can possibly be for you. And I don't really get caught up into the numbers anymore. And I used to do that in the beginning. But that's something that I don't really get into. And I don't really trip off of, because numbers can come and go, just how YouTube can come and go. Streaming can come and go. And I've seen streamers now that were popular at one point. I've seen YouTubers that were popular at one point, and then at some period of time, everything kind of goes downhill and then comes back up, and it goes down, comes up. So I just don't I don't really fall into the trap of the stuff that I told you that I made a mistake of in the beginning anymore at this point. So my advice to you guys: don't make the same mistakes that I've made. Don't make the same mistakes that other people have made when it comes to being on YouTube or being a streamer in general. If you love something, keep doing it for the sake of that reason, but don't do it for the money, because that's the worst thing that you can do, is trying to do YouTube for just for the money, or doing streaming just for the money aspect. Do it because you love it, and then things will come right after. So that's my advice to you guys. And it's not really edited style video, but it is a thing that I wanted to kind of share with you guys. So I'm going to get back into prepping this dinner for tonight, and I will be seeing you all later on tonight, and I'll be streaming some more Ghost Tsushima, or if something else pops up that I want to play, then we'll come about it when the time is right. So other than that, have a good day, everybody. I will see you all later, and I will see you all tonight.